everyone, I am Paul McGuire Grimes from Paul's Trip to the Movies. Oscar winner Brie Larson packs a punch as one of Marvel's great new heroes. In Captain Marvel, she suits up as Veers. She's a combat fighter living on the planet Hala, who's really harnessing her powers for the Kree community. She's part of the Star Force unit and crash lands on planet C-53, aka Earth, in hopes of finding this group of shapeshifters known as Skrulls. Her time on Earth then awakens memories of a life she once had as a fighter pilot named Carol Danvers and the people she's lost along the way. It also stars Samuel L. Jackson, who is back as Nick Fury, Clark Gregg, who is also back as Agent Coulson as part of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as Annette Bening, Ben Mendelsohn, and Jude Law. So this is the 21st Marvel movie and the first of 3 this year, and it marks the first time that Marvel has had a female lead. It's also directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, who are known for their indie movies like Half Nelson and It's Kind of a Funny Story. They also serve as co-writers with Geneva Robertson Duarte. This also marks the first time Marvel has had a female director. This movie, Captain Marvel, acts as a prequel with its late 1990s timeline. You begin to put the pieces together of how Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers, leads into the events we know from the first Marvel and Avengers movies in Phase 1. Part of this movie, it suffers from some of the kind of standard origin story traps of trying to introduce new characters and settings into a world that we already know. It's a bit harder to fully immerse yourself and enjoy it while you're kind of making sense of all these floating Marvel pieces. Overall, it has a kind of Top Gun meets Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to it. The late 90s aesthetic also allows for that throwback feel with its use of Blockbuster Video, Radio Shack, and a soundtrack that includes Nirvana, Hole, Gwen Stefani, and TLC. As Captain Marvel, Brie Larson is a great addition to the Marvel family. The character is staunchly independent. She comes with grit, spunk, and a little humor, and she really has no time for a love interest. She pairs well with Samuel L. Jackson, who, like I said, is back as Nick Fury, and their chemistry, I think, really rides a lot of this movie. I'd say that there's not a weak link in this cast. I think it's always fun to see Ben Mendelsohn in the villain role, and then Annette Bening has a few tricks up her sleeve as well as the Supreme Intelligence. I think the film's focus on building the Carol Danvers character makes kind of it lose a bit of that grand epic nature that we've seen from some of Marvel's other movies like Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, or even Thor Ragnarok. There are, of course, a couple of action sequences, especially in the climax, but I found the execution a bit frantic at times. There are twists and turns throughout as certain characters are not who they appear to be. It's worth noting, too, that there is the standard Stan Lee cameo, and then the opening Marvel studio logo has been altered in his honor as well, and it got a huge round of applause from the audience. I'm giving Captain Marvel 3.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have reviews of other new movies, as well as my appearances on Twin Cities Live. And then follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. And then go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for reviews of all the Marvel movies, as well as a link to my podcast, Paul's Trip to the Movies, on Podcast One and Apple Podcast. Thank you so much for watching today.